have reacted had we been in the same situation. So thanks a lot for giving us that opportunity, and hopefully we'll continue doing the same in future. So I hope all of you will support us in the same way that you did in Nurture 2012. I look forward to the same program again. Thanks.
I am going to be very brief because it's actually a very tough job to follow Ashok Rao. I had the privilege of spending 15 days with him in Africa. And imagine, these are not the only Ashokisms he has. And if you had to listen to Ashokism day after day, well, you are on a holiday. It is a tough task. And I also think that when we started giving him hints that, okay, enough, now it's go to have some drinks, I think he went to look for some animals who might listen to him. You called me a vulture capitalist, right? So we're even now. Vishwas called me yesterday and said, will I say something? And I said, about what? Then he said something about chapter champion. And I was wondering what that means. And when I actually came in, Ajay met me first. And every time he introduced me to somebody, he said, Praveen Gandhi is our chapter champion. I don't know what that means. And I think the guy who decided on this title is right here. So maybe Ashok can figure out what it means. But from what I have understood, I mean, this is in some sense an American, because I was wondering when Ajay asked me whether he was genuinely concerned and didn't understand what champion meant, or he thought that it's one of these assistant deputy general manager in a bank and you don't know what he's doing. But, it's a very American kind of a title. But basically, as I understand, I am supposed to be, since I am member of the global board, I am your window, eyes, and championing your cause with TiE Global. Because, being in the global board, you have a certain view which is across all chapters. And I have always believed that strength of TiE over any other organization that talks about entrepreneurship is its network. And I think it's a process, I think, that it will continue to evolve. But I believe that because it's a very, in a sense, the basic blocks are chapter driven, we don't do enough to create the network effect. And I think Ashok has done a lot of work this year, and it is very important that all of us keep that in mind, that every chapter will grow as the network will grow, because by itself you may grow, but that may not matter very much, because if the network becomes weak, you will yourself become weak. So it's very important that you think of it always as a network. So be open to understanding what other programs, this is where I can perhaps help, is what other programs are being run. Your program, for example, this program, I think it's something that you ought to share with the other chapters, because it's a very well crafted program. Everybody does this, please understand that. Mumbai does it, Bangalore does it. But then there are, it is packaged differently by different people, and there will be, and I believe today, at least from what I've seen in Mumbai and Bangalore, I think this is a very well packaged program. So perhaps there is something to learn out of this program for others. Similarly, Mumbai does some programs. We did a joint program with Pune here called Smash Up. So, there is a lot to learn from the network. Please be clear that there is a lot to learn from the network, not only in India, I think across the world, that people are doing different things dependent on their environment. And I suspect that, components of this can be very useful to nurture the entrepreneurship ecosystem. Because see, in India, I hate saying India is unique because that's how we say to people that, oh, we are unique. But in a sense, from a number of organizations in this country, one president and one vice president will make one chamber of commerce or one something or the other. We have many organizations to contend with. Like there is FICCI, there is CII, there is Maharashtra Chamber of Commerce, Mumbai Chamber of Commerce. I mean, there are plethora of things who will, when they find time, they will find entrepreneurship, add an entrepreneurship module. But because of the marketing clout they have, it sort of hurts us in the sense that, because we don't put out many marketing dollars out there to make our brand. One of the initiatives we have, that taken on this time is creating a sort of a virtual TiE India, such that we can actually become or be seen by unfortunately we can't say there should be no government, but since there is a government, is to make TiE the premier go-to organization for all entrepreneurial policy issues. We typically are not an organization that influences commerce like NASCOM or MATE or CII. We don't worry about duty structure, this structure, but policy intervention I think is very important. And I was so pleased when PK, when Kapil Sibal was in Washington, and somehow, I don't know how, but the TiE group happened to meet him, and they asked whether he would come to Mumbai for the TiE Entrepreneurial Summit, and he agreed. And I think that in a sense is both says that he has heard about it, which means that we are creating a brand, and his being there I think will also help strengthen the brand further. So so we need to get there, we need to make that, and I am available, although I also see many, whoever defined the pregnant women with a lot of pain every day, because we look at plans every day, but I am available to the managing committee. Anybody who needs some assistance, I'll be happy to help as much as I can, but the chapter champion's job is to connect you with the rest of the TiE ecosystem. So if you can't do it yourself, go to Vishwas first and then come to me. All right, thank you, and we can now go have some drinks.
I will make this really quick because I know that now the impatience levels are running high. This has been an incredible evening. And many members here in TiE mentioned that this is not just for the mentees themselves, but for many of us as charter members and mentors, it's been a huge learning experience. I'd like to thank a few people who played a very important role today, beginning with James, yourself, and Suhasini. The UK TiE has been hugely helpful to TiE Pune, and your sponsorship for the Nurture program has been indeed very valuable. I'm hoping that this will continue on and our association will go on longer. Coming to Ashok Rao, being in business school, I felt after Ashok what you said was probably not enough. I could have paid for attending this program. It was so good. And the Ashokisms are something that I think all of us are going to take home. And I'd actually urge you to add one that you mentioned earlier on, but I didn't see it in your list there. But important for all the mentees was your message about knowing your secret sauce. I didn't see it in your list of 18, but probably the list itself is longer than that.
About 6.
Right. Thank you so much for all this, all that you said to people. It was truly inspirational for every one of us. For you, Praveen, it's hard for me to believe that you struggled with this whole thing about being a chapter champion. But you truly are a chapter champion for providing us just this small insight that the world for TiE members does not end with their own chapter, but can actually connect to the rest of the world And I think that's just a little, it's a small little thing, but I think it gets people really, really far. And so thank you for that and for delivering that message. Finally, coming to just the mentors and the mentees, and I want to just club this all together. Thank you very much for your involvement. If it wasn't for the involvement of all the mentors and for the mentees themselves, this program would not have been successful. This program probably would have faltered its way through and would have ended not in the manner that it has. I would like to especially congratulate all the mentees who put in such a lot of work, were patient with the mentors. I heard Pratima, was that? Purnima. Mentioning this thing about the mentors making an effort to be with the mentees on time and spend a lot of effort with them. But I really want to congratulate the mentees for being patient, for listening to mentors and believing in them, giving them a position almost as if they were members of the board of the firm, and giving them the authority to sometimes almost dictate to them. This became so engaging that it was a little bit like how Ashok you mentioned about working hard with people so much so that you begin to feel that you're part of family. Someone became a brother to you. I do know from my personal experience that the companies that I worked with, I think I've become part of your family, and you can trust me as you can trust the other mentees can trust their mentors, for times to go on. So while the nurture program itself may have ended, your association with your mentors and those, for the mentors with the mentees, I'm hoping has not ended, and this will go on and will bear, fruition. Some messages I liked. I love the messages given by James about, starting small. Ashok, you mentioned the same thing. Start small because one day you're going to become big. So believe in yourself. That's the big message. I can't help but, playing a mentor's role once again. I was struck by the way all the mentees presented, and I made a note. Every mentee actually mentioned their customers as being a man. It was about education, about how he applies for a college, about how he does this. In a restaurant, about how a customer walks in, he behaves like this. About an IT company, you spoke about how this person is a he. And just as being a champion, for women's empowerment and for women's dignity, I urge you all, next time you present, please mention your customer and your employee as a she, because she is more important today. So that's just my little bit of mentoring to you people. I was struck that all the 7 presenters actually mentioned the customer or employee as an he. That is it. The charter members, TiE charter members, who actually have upheld this whole effort, led by Vishwas, I would say we're all eternally grateful to all of you. I was at a point of questioning my own existence at TiE, and I began to question, saying, why am I here? Because I don't see, myself contributing. I read about this nurturing, mentoring, educating thing, but I don't do much. And really, people like Vishwas, Ajay, yourself, and the entire community of charter members, mentors included, actually made me repose a faith back in TiE. I'm back there in TiE where I think I belong, and thank you very much for that.